Окей. Ребята, всех рад приветствовать на семинаре Тимоти Сайкса в Москве. То есть я Анатолий Радченко, управляющий партнер United Traders. Вот ходит Дима тоже наш партнер. Вот сзади он. А другой...
Рад приветствовать всех унесенным голосом.
Ну, ты должен был как Билл Гейтс бежать. Microsoft.
Билл Гейтс тоже будет смотреть.
Окей. Роман Андреевич задерживается. Вишневский Роман Андреевич задерживается. Мчится отсюда из Лондона, чтобы попасть на семинар Тимоти Сайкса, это его кумир. Соответственно, вы все уже здесь, и начало, я думаю, не буду много рассказывать, не буду оттягивать события, которые все нас ждут. Соответственно, давайте поприветствуем Тима.
Спасибо. Wait, Katila. I know that too. I guess my translator will say everything I say. No matter what I say, he has to say everything, right? He has to just repeat every single thing I say. Over and over and over again. Or can he edit it out? I don't know. I've never spoken in Russia before. I've never been in Russia before, but I'm glad to be here. Thank you to Comrade Anatoly. No smiles when I say comrade. Maybe I shouldn't say that anymore. Okay. But no, I'm thankful to be here. This is kind of crazy. I like your pickled herring and your pickles and your vodka and your caviar. And I'm sorry to stereotype everything like that, but that's just what I've experienced so far in my 24 hours. This is not meant to be a funny presentation, but if you happen to laugh, it's not the end of the world. The stock market is a very boring place. The trading world is a very corrupt industry. Most traders lose. Most people involved in finance are degenerates. Does that translate? Degenerates? Raise your hand if you know what a degenerate is. Maybe that doesn't translate. I'm not here to say, if you start trading, you're going to get rich. Even though, the name of my presentation is How to Make Millions. That's kind of just marketing. You're not going to make millions. There might be like one of you or two of you people who are going to make millions. How many people here are traders, like full-time traders? Raise your hand. How many people lose money consistently? Wow. The only room of traders where nobody loses in the world. So we learned something there. Everyone claims to make a lot of money. Everyone claims to be a great trader. And maybe in their screwed up heads they are. But in reality, it's actual money that pays the bills. And it's not about being a perfect trader. It's not about understanding everything in the stock market or being right 100% of the time. Because in my experience, and I've been doing this for 12 years, you're never right 100% of the time. You're never gonna, just nail a trade to its max. Sometimes you can get pretty close, but the key to making a lot of money over the long run is simply doing the best that you can do with tools, with firms like United Traders, using your intelligence, trying not to be drunk like sloppy Russians, and just saying, let me just do my best and try to stay profitable. Because we know, despite what the show of hands showed us, 90% of traders lose money. So this is not an easy industry. So I said spasibo already. Here's my disclaimer. I guess in Russia, the cool thing is, I guess you don't need disclaimers, do you? There's no disclaimers in Russia. So if I was in the US, I would say a whole bunch of legal jargon, like, but I don't have to say any of that. So that's awesome. Screw the US for that. So who am I, basically? Who here has seen my TV show Wall Street Warriors? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. That's about right. It's a TV show, for those of you who don't know, where they basically featured like 6 or 7 New York finance people, and I was one of them. At the time, my hedge fund was down 35%, but nobody knew about it because I, like you, would not raise my hand publicly that I was losing money. And so I was just drunk in every episode. And I made a complete ass out of myself in front of what I thought would just be a small audience, but it turned out to be the world. It's now in 16 countries. But besides like my self-deprecating humor, does that translate? Self-deprecating? Okay, I want to make sure. Because I make fun of myself and I make fun of others, but it's just that of humor. I have made a few $1 million. I guess you can kind of see it. There's like a little green line, and I made roughly $2.5 million in trading over the past decade. And this is almost every single one of my trades. I've created this website called Profitly. Who here knows my website, Profitly? 2 people, awesome. 5, 6, yeah, okay, cool. I created a website, Profitly, just basically to track all of my trades, track all of my subscribers' trades, and kind of track the trading industry's trades. I want to make this transparent. I want everybody to see, who's doing well, who's not doing well, why are they doing well, why is somebody lying about doing well, stuff like that. There's a new little button. You can just upload your trades, and we're going to work with Comrade Anatoly soon to get all of United Traders' trades up there on the internet publicly. And if you don't believe somebody's trades, there's a little button, a little Bernie Madoff. Do you know who Bernie Madoff is? Show of hands, yes or no? Yes, if you know Bernie Madoff. Wow, only some people. Bernie Madoff was like the biggest criminal in the US, and he stole billions of dollars. Like that guy in the last row who's going to steal that much money too when he's sober, but that joke doesn't work when it translates. This is Wall Street Warriors. This is the TV show that I'm on. I suggest you watch it. It's a good reality show. It's better than. Do you have reality shows in Russia? What do you have? I guess you can't call it Big Brother, can you? That would be bad.
Don't do it.
What?
Don't do it.
Anyways.
I'll show you later.
Okay. All right.
I guess.
All right. Big Brother is a popular reality show in the US, but I guess it would have different meanings. This is my book, An American Hedge Fund. Who here has read it? Yes. If you raise your hands if you read it. I guess I should have brought some copies because no one has read it. I'll send you guys PDFs later. It's a good book. It talks about my whole trading career, and that's kind of what I am here to do. And by the way, let me interrupt myself by saying you can raise your hands at any time if you have a question, because my brain is just weird. Like I just talk. So if you have any questions, just interrupt me, or else I'll never stop. So I was, as you see from that gigantic picture out there of me, I was on the cover of Young Money magazine in 2007, and I was Trader Monthly's top 30 under 30 in 2006, basically because I turned my $12,000 bar mitzvah gift money into roughly $2 million within 4 years, and that was during the bubble, the US stock market bubble, 1999 and 2000. But then I also learned how to short sell 2001 and 2002. Who here short sells? Raise your hand. Anybody shorts? Good, I like it. Some cynical people. Some people don't know short selling, we'll get into that. Today's kind of just going to be a brief overview of my strategy. Tomorrow, you know, once we're all good and hung over tonight, it's going to get technical. And, you know, who's here, who's going to drink tonight? Raise your hands if you're going out drinking. Wow, what? Why isn't everybody raising their hands? What? What is this place? I don't know. I guess I have some stereotypes, but it's his fault. Yeah. He fed us a lot of vodka last night, or tried to. So this is my website, timothysykes.com. It's good, but there's a whole lot of ads because I have DVDs, I've got newsletters, I've got books. You know, I just teach every last ounce of my strategy because I love teaching, and thanks to that TV show Wall Street Warriors, I now have an audience. Before, you know, as most of you guys, I was just a trader, you know, spending my days sitting by a computer, and it's basically just like a video game, like where you're looking at numbers on a screen and you're like, oh, I want a high score. But you know, you don't really get out of that small little room, and it's kind of lonely. And then, you know, you're going to like bad websites just to entertain yourself. You know what I mean. And thanks to the TV show, I have an audience. So if you ever get the chance to go on a reality show, don't ask your parents. You know, my dad is in the back. He told me not to do it. But I didn't listen to him, and now I'm in Russia. So there's a lesson to be learned there. But it's good to teach. You know, even if you don't have like great success, it's good to be open and honest because in the trading industry, again, most people lose money. You have so many people claiming to make a lot. They're like, oh, I have the secret to getting rich. They're liars. They're full of shit. So that's why I've created all this stuff on the internet, and this is why I do speeches like this and go wherever I'm invited to kind of spread this message. Pretty much any American financial media you can think of. I was on CNN debating God, sex, and greed. I was greed. I lost. I brought models on CNBC. That was the last time I was on CNBC because... Did anybody see that clip? Raise your hands if you saw my clip of bringing models on CNBC. I'm going to show that tomorrow. I'm proud of it. I brought these three girls, and they held up charts on CNBC. And it was kind of funny, but apparently they had never had so many female complaints as that segment. So I'm not on CNBC anymore. But I went out with a bang, and it's on YouTube. So this was me on CNN losing in my debate. This rabbi just killed me, Rabbi Shmuley, and he was God. And then I was debating this porn star, I forget her name, but I lost to her too. I was trying to be greed. I was trying to say greed is good. They weren't having it. But, oh, there's my models. So they were, you know, and CNBC said that they were too scantily dressed. I think that's bullshit. Like, we need to liven finance up a little bit, you know? Like, come on, like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to the women in the audience, the three of you guys, but, you know, we need to entertain ourselves, and this is good. And by the way, this chart that I picked as a breakout on the left, was ISRG, and it tripled after this. So that was a good breakout. And this was, you know, I brought a lot of pictures just because I wasn't sure about the translator guy. But now I'm more confident. Now he's great. He's doing a fantastic job. So this is my scholarship. I have a scholarship at Tulane University down in New Orleans, and I donated $15,000, and I donate $15,000 each year, and it's basically where I award people with a talent. My talent was day trading, but we've awarded people who have started magazines, sculptors, a karate champion, because a lot of, you know, these weird skills aren't you know, promoted properly. Like your parents are like, oh, you need to be a doctor or a lawyer to make a lot of money. And that sucks. Like, you should do what you love. And if you love gambling, then you should gamble, which is kind of what I do. So it's the Timothy Sykes Day Trading Award for the Talented. It's a mouthful. Here's a picture. Who here likes basketball? Raise your hands if you like basketball. 2 people. Yeah. 3. Yeah. Guess why the US is so good at basketball and Russia isn't? I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. I don't know. There's too many jokes. I won't go there. This was me on the court in Orlando Magic. I was shooting hoops with my childhood idol, Patrick Ewing. Now he's old, and you can't even tell who he is, but it was a big moment for me. You might recognize her, Kristen Stewart from Twilight, but this was before she was on Twilight, and she kind of looks drugged out. But I still met her, and I still took a picture, and I still flirted with her, so I'm gonna take that. And these are, so I'm trying to inspire you. Like, this is what you can do when you're a self-made millionaire trader. There's no limits. Like, you can say whatever you want. You can fly to Russia. You can make fun of translators. You're doing great. But, like, that's the cool thing. Like, if you're a CEO of a company, you always have to be worried about, like, meeting earnings estimates and saying, like, the nice things and being very diplomatic. And that life sucks. I've tried to be, like, diplomatic and nice, and it's boring. And, business is boring. I'm sorry. Most business people suck. Like, they're not going to say what's on their mind. If you ask them, how's business going? They're saying, oh, good, good, good. We're expanding overseas. We're just trying to increase production. We're trying to hire to meet the demand. And then if you look through their, corporate filings, like, you see revenues are down like 70%. The ugly legal filings tell a different story. And there's a big difference between traders and business people. Business people cannot be honest because they're getting paid by somebody. They have shareholders. They're dogs, basically. They're slaves. Trading, and in this picture, this was my ex-girlfriend and her friend, and it was, this was fun. And I was not a slave. Oh, this is probably a bad slide to make the slave comment to, but I was not a slave. I've been all over the world. I've been to 70 countries. I've seen a lot of stuff. I've been rich for a decade. And I'm not saying that to, like, brag. I'm saying it to kind of inspire you to say, look, like, this is what trading is. Like, this is the beauty of trading. And many of you already know it since you're traders, but I just need to reinforce it because I don't think enough people talk about this. Like, they talk about, oh, I made 2,000 today, I made 5,000 today, or whatever. They're probably lying, number one. And number two, go spend it. Have some fun. Like, why do you work so hard if you're never going to spend it? The beauty of trading is that you have this liquid cash. You can do it from anywhere in the world. And you don't have to be a slave to anybody. So this is the Leaning Tower of Pisa with my ex-girlfriend. This was the pyramids with my ex-girlfriend. This is the, I can't even watch that. This is the Great Wall of China. This was Santorini, Greece, one of my favorite places. No ex-girlfriend, she's taking a picture. But that freaking milk cream pie is fantastic. And Santorini has surprisingly good internet. So you can trade from wherever. This is another view. This is the south of France. There's actually internet access. I was sitting on that chair. There's high-speed internet access. I'm not making this up. That was the best office. And I think I made like $1,500 that day. It wasn't like a huge day for me, but most people like pay $1,500 for a hotel room that night. I did like an Expedia deal, so I only got the hotel for like $500, and I made $1,500, so I'm net positive $1,000, and I have that view all day. And I got sunburned because I had that view all day, and it was awesome. Here's another great view. This is Santorini. Are you guys getting inspired? Da? Niet? Da! All right, and those are all the pictures from the last year. I just wanted to get over that, get that through to you guys. Do you have any questions just before I get into at least what I'm here to talk about? Any questions about my travels, about my ex-girlfriend? No? Good. Good. No, you know, like I really want to make this point clear, where too many people do not talk about how they spend their money. And I know it's taboo. I know, does taboo translate? Taboo? Cool. You know, like I know most people, like you're just supposed to profit in your accounts, but I don't care, you know, because I was on this reality show, I have thick skin, I can take anything. But what I want to help you understand is that you don't have to stay in these little offices all day. United Trading has remote offices, right? You can trade from anywhere. And it's just a beautiful industry. So I hope you continue on it, and I hope that over the next few hours I can at least show you how I make my money. You know, it's not very advanced, it's not like rocket science, but it seems to work quite consistently. And I'm not saying that my strategy is better than anybody else's, but I will tell you that it's profitable. And you know, no matter what you're trading, if you're trading Forex or commodities or, you know, Russian stocks, it doesn't matter what you trade, as long as you have a system that you can follow and that you can be honest with yourself. Because, you know, the most important thing that I've said here today so far was when I asked you guys to raise your hands if you make money. I can guarantee you, if I had a gun and I put it to all of your heads, that not all of you would raise your hands anymore, because some of you are lying. And I don't care who, you know, who's lying and who's not. You know, I'm not here to put you down, but you know, you got to be honest with yourself. If you're going to try and be consistently profitable over the years, you can't say, oh, I make money, just because you're going to be embarrassed. Like, you have to get over the embarrassment. And it's embarrassing to lose money, I understand that. What if you work like all week, you know, you research something, you have a thesis, you explore it from all angles, and then guess what? Like, the stock or the commodity just doesn't do what you expect. That sucks. But it happens, that's life. What you can't do is lie about it, because that creates all sorts of bad habits that will come back to bite you later. So I'm going to talk about my strategy. I trade penny stocks. Who here knows what a penny stock is? Raise your hand. All right, half the people. Good. So I trade like the scummiest, like just dirtiest, shittiest, just most pathetic companies in the world. They just suck. Like they try so hard, or some of them do, some of them don't even care. Some of them are like, yeah, we suck, if you read their SEC filings. But the beautiful thing about these penny stocks is that they're so simple, they're so small, they're so all about one or two products. So if they have one product where they're introducing it, or if it's, you know, coming out in a few weeks or months or years, you know, they can play it up. And I know this is very general, but this penny stocks move based on hype and expectations, not reality. Because any company with just one product, you know, it's either going to do well or fail. And given that most startups and most, you know, wannabe companies, like most traders, fail, you have to kind of be a short seller. You have to kind of say, you know what, like, most of these companies, no matter what they're promising, no matter what products they have, they're just not going to do well. And so my strategy is based very much on logic, where if you have 100 companies all saying they have revolutionary products, and if you look at the stats over the years, it doesn't matter what kind of product you introduce. What matters is the management. What matters is, you know, you need a little bit of luck, but your pricing, the market environment, the economy, there's a lot of factors that go into what makes a successful company. And the fact is that if you have 100 companies with revolutionary products in the room, maybe 1 or 2 will make it. The rest will fail. And if you study this important stat, you'll come to the conclusion that, okay, most of these companies are going to be failures. And understand this is from like I'm a New Yorker. I'm a cynical, jaded New Yorker where I think most people are full of shit. I think most companies are going to fail. I don't trust anybody on Wall Street. I don't trust any analysts. But if you look at the stats, I get backed up. So that's just, my take on the stock market. So I've already gone over this. Fact number 1, trading profits give you unlimited freedom. Okay? So my strategy wasn't meant to be something like, I wasn't like, oh, let me decide to trade penny stocks. I want unlimited freedom. It doesn't work like that. How it works is you find a strategy, you try and make it work, you try and get profitable, and then ideally you can have unlimited freedom where you can go anywhere in the world. And some of you, maybe you don't even like to travel. I like to travel. Who here likes to travel? Raise your hands. Good, you should. It's freaking awesome, I mean, this is like your home here, but for me, this is like the other side of the world. I just flew 12 hours the other day, like 2 days ago. It's like 6 in the morning for me right now. I don't even know what the fuck is going on. Pardon my swearing, like I have jet lag. I can't even see anything right now. But it's cool that I can still do a speech and do this. And Anatoly and I are going to drink later tonight.
Absolutely.
And you guys are invited on Anatoly's tab. We've gone over this too. So, look at his face get all red. Are we not taking everybody out? Was I wrong? Was I misinformed?
It's okay.
Who's-
Very good.
Is it on my tab? Am I paying?
Yeah, we'll go to your column.
We'll split it, 50-50.
No problem.
Wait, what's your profit split with United Traders? Let's do that kind of let's do a profit split. Okay. I found the most success trading penny stocks, and it's so weird. Trust me, like, the trading industry, if you Google my name, or I guess if you Yandex my name, if you Yandex my name, it's not pretty on the internet, what people say about me, but I trade penny stocks and I don't really care, what people say about me. Remember, I have the unlimited freedom, they don't. So whatever it takes to get that unlimited freedom, I'm willing to do. I'm Jewish, I'm greedy, I can make that joke here. And this is kind of off topic, but I've found much more success monetarily, spiritually, just much more fulfillment by teaching it. Because in the penny stock world, you might not know, but in the penny stock world, there's a lot of fraud and a lot of misinformation. You have like these free newsletters on the internet that I'll show you tomorrow. And they basically say, oh, sign up to our newsletter. We pick these stocks that go up, 300, 500%. And sure, sometimes they do. But the reason why they want you on their newsletter is not because they want to do something good for you. It's because your email address is worth a lot of money. And I was telling Anatoly this last night. I was like, you need to get more email addresses to grow your business. Because that's what it comes down to. The best way to reach customers, whether you're selling a good product or a shit product, is to email them. And in the penny stock world, since most companies are frauds, you need to email a lot of people so that just a few suckers believe you. In my line, where I'm trying to teach how the game works, I don't need to reach millions of people because the few people that I talk to, I'm talking to less than 100 people here, probably half of you will become subscribers because by the end of this, hopefully, you'll realize that what I say is real. And it's kind of cool where you can make a few $100s or a few $1,000s if the plays present themselves. No matter what you're doing. I don't care if you're clubbing until 6 in the morning, or what time do clubs close here?
6 in the morning.
6 in the morning? So, 6 in the morning, you have it easy. The US stock market opens like at night here. So you can go clubbing till forever and you'll be fine. I mean, I have problems when I go clubbing, US clubs close at 4 and I have to be up at 7. That's dangerous. You know, I gave a presentation in Las Vegas, and Las Vegas was actually, the stock market opens at 6:30 in the morning. And I was out until like 6. I was singing Katy Perry, like Teenage Dream, and I like lost my voice. Like, who sings that song? It's a terrible song. And I was so trashed, and I was on a kind of thing like this, giving my speech at my seminar, and I was using this to balance myself because I was so drunk. And, you know, the point of this is that as long as I teach openly and honestly, there's much more success for me to be had than just trading. Because I have this profitable strategy, I am one of those people who would raise my hands if I said, if someone asked me, you know, are you profitable? But I back it up. And I'm not like trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to say, look, I am a profitable trader. So now we're going to get to how I get my profits. Simple but effective. That's what my strategy comes down to. It's like painfully simple. After 4 hours today, you're going to walk out of this and you're going to be like, this guy could have explained this in 5 minutes. What the fuck? Like, why did I just waste 3 hours and 55 minutes? But I want to frame this like in your mind because it's not that simple. You know, logically speaking, yes, betting against failing companies is simple. I was watching CNBC this morning, and who came on? Like the head of Fidelity Magellan, which is a giant mutual fund. And Maria Bartiromo was interviewing him. Do you know who Maria Bartiromo is? Raise your hands. Wow, we're in a different country. That's cool. So CNBC has like these, you know, I have problems with CNBC ever since my model fiasco. But they have all these business interviewers, and they claim to be, you know, very professional, very successful. And Maria Bartiromo is like one of the biggest interviewers. Who's a big interviewer in Russia?
Gerchik.
What? Yechik? What's it? Oh, Alex Gerchik? That's funny. That's funny, Anatoly. Have another vodka. I don't know any interviewers in Russia, but Maria Bartiromo is one of the biggest, and she brought on this mutual fund manager, and the mutual fund manager, she was like, explain your strategy. And she has him on like, I don't know, Mario Gabelli, he's a big time fund manager. And he always explains the strategy. He's like, what I do is I buy good companies at discount prices. And it's like, shut up, dude. Like, you don't just do that. If you could just say, oh, I'm going to make money forever buying good companies at value prices. Why doesn't everybody do that? Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And yet, that's his pitch. Because it makes so much sense. So my pitch is I short sell, I bet against overvalued frauds. So I am like Mario Gabelli, but unlike him, I don't make billions in fees. Yet. But I teach, and I want you to learn this stuff. So I'm not just going to stop there and say, oh, okay, short sell overvalued frauds. Here's how you find a fraud. It's not that simple. There are subtleties to my strategy, and that's what I want to teach. And just so you understand this, like penny stocks are very unpopular, in the US at least. I don't know what it's like over here. But in the US, I mean, I'm like the devil. I think somebody even compared me to the devil. Yeah, there's a few blog posts where like I have like little horns in my head. I'm not the devil. I just trade these kinds of ugly stocks. And you shouldn't be embarrassed. And I do spoof videos every now and then. And I'm doing this spoof video that's kind of inappropriate in America, but you guys probably won't even get it. Do you know who Martin Luther King is? Okay. Well, I'm going to spoof Martin Luther King. So it might be a little controversial, and I guess it'll even make its way over here to Russia. But you shouldn't worry about what you're trading is popular or not. This isn't high school. You know, high school is a popularity contest, and in reality, and judging by the looks of you guys, no offense, I mean, I was a nerd in high school too, but, you know, none of us are like prom king in high school. We're not like football players. I don't even know if you guys have prom king, now that I'm thinking about this. But if you're unpopular, and if you're trading an unpopular market niche, it doesn't matter. All that matters is whether you make money or not. You know, that's what trading is for. It's trying to make you money. Not lose money, not just make a little money, make you a lot of money. And that should always be your end goal. And I know this is like elementary school, like very basic stuff. But think about that every single day. Every single day you should be saying to yourself, all I want to do is come into this office, or you know, if you're on a beach or wherever, you just want to make money that day because life is more important. You know, like I've traveled everywhere, I've met a lot of cool people, I've drank a lot, I've killed a lot of brain cells, but what's most important is that I have a strategy that can provide for me forever. You know, like I don't care what day it is, all I have to do is look at recent trades, look at some data that I'll go over in a second, and see where the opportunities are. And every day, my goal is to make money. So this is a very interesting thing right here. Most people hate penny stocks because they think they are manipulated and unpredictable. In the US, we're taught that, you know, penny stocks are these small companies and they can be propped up and manipulated higher or, you know, just crushed for no reason whatsoever. And they think, oh, it's just unpredictable. Who here has ever gotten an email where it says, buy this stock is going to go up 1,000%? Raise your hands if you get emails like that. Just a couple people? All right, I guess there's more spam in the US. Maybe Yandex prevents the spam. Does Yandex prevent spam?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Maybe that's why the IPO did so well. There's a lot of spam in the US. 89% of all email is spam. That's an actual stat. You can Google that, Yandex that. 89% of all email is spam. And a lot of that spam comes with penny stocks. So if you get an email that says, you know, buy this stock, it's going to go up 1,000%. And if you're a promoter, there are people who build email address databases. So like, let's say you have like 10 million email addresses that you bought for $100,000 and you're a promoter. You send out an email blast saying, you know, buy this stock XYZ, it's going to go up 1,000%. You know that probably 1% of the people who get those emails will actually buy that stock. Even though it doesn't matter what the company does, you just know that some people are greedy and they're gullible. So if you send out an email, and Anatoly, you should do this too, you know, be a stock promoter. We need more stock promoters. If you can get enough people to believe something, you can do whatever you want. And that's what penny stocks are. They're manipulated. Okay? When you send out an email blast to 10 million people, and let's say 10,000 people actually buy the stock price is going to go up because there's so many people buying the stock and not enough people selling the stock. But the people selling the stock are the people who paid for the actual email blast. It's called a pump and dump, and I saw that on the timothysykes.ru, you know, pump and dump strategy. You pump up the stock price so that you can dump your shares. That's manipulation. That's basic manipulation 101. But people think that means that it's unpredictable. Where if you get an email blast and the stock goes up, it probably won't go up for very long because you don't know when other people are going to sell. But what I've found and what I've made my millions on, you know, not huge millions, but you know, 2.5 million. I can like walk tall. I can say, look, I made $2.5 million. That's a decent figure. Is that, you know, this manipulation is predictable. And this isn't rocket science where it's like, if a stock is going up because someone is paying to make the stock go up, you just have to think opposite. You just have to say, you know what? If this stock is going higher because someone is paying for it to go higher, not because the company is good, then it's predictable that it will drop after that guy has dumped his shares. It's so simple. It's like a pendulum, but there are kind of subtleties to it. And I want to teach you about that. I want to teach you about the manipulation and the predictability. and why you need to learn these subtleties. Because it's not just as simple as, you know, you can obviously buy the stock during the promotion too. If you're the first person to get an email and you know that there's going to be 9 million more emails being sent out in the next few days, it might actually be good to buy the stock at first. But there's risks. And similarly, when the stock is up, you know, if the stock goes from like 2 cents to $1 and it's up 50 times in a few days, and you're saying, okay, this stock is up way too much, it doesn't deserve to be. If you want to short sell it, if you want to bet against it, you know, it's not so simple because there might not be shares to short. There's a lot of obstacles, so it's not like the easiest strategy in the world, which is why I give talks. If it was the easiest strategy in the world, I would have made a lot more than 2.5 million, and I wouldn't be teaching it to anybody. I would be on my own private island, but I'm not. So what I'm here to do is to give you a realistic presentation of what is capable with this strategy, where you can make a few $1 million or rubles. Well, I guess a few million rubles isn't that much, is it?
Not much really.
You can make 2 million rubles.
One more time.
You can't translate that? Oh.
I don't translate laugh. I mean,
It's not a laugh. That's a word. This is an English word. Huehehehehua. I heard a little ha-ha. I'm sorry, this is new for me. This is the most fun I'm gonna have like all year, so I'm gonna play it up. It's funny right now, but the joke's gonna get old really quickly. And I bet I know what you're thinking, although this joke just ruined the slide. Many of you probably think that what I do is illegal. You know, I'm talking about manipulation and pump and dumps, and I get this. This is my first impression where people are like, okay, you make millions of dollars ripping people off. And that's not what I do. I teach about how other people rip other people off. Trying to translate that, sucker. I'm not the one doing the manipulating, okay? I was a philosophy major. Who here has studied philosophy? Raise your hand. Few people, yeah. We're the weird people in the room, you know? My entire philosophy class loved smoking weed. They were always high. And I don't know if is weed big here? Or no? Is weed popular?
It's forbidden.
It's forbidden.
You can't go to jail, man.
I won't talk about that. No, weed is forbidden in the U.S. too. Forbidden. But I didn't smoke. I suck at drugs. I can't even take NyQuil. Do you guys have NyQuil?
What?
Oh my god. It's like a sleeping pill. It's like you take it to your nighttime sniffling stuffy head so you can get your rest medicine. Never heard that? Awesome. Awesome.
We drink only vodka in Russia.
Only vodka.
Yeah.
So if you have like a cold, like what should you do? Drink vodka.
Yeah.
If you have a fever, what should you do? Drink vodka.
You have a headache.
You have a headache, drink vodka.
When I got
If you break your arm, I broke my arm. Well, let me drink. Oh, my arm's feeling better. Okay, well, in America, it's not so simple. Our vodka isn't as good as yours. I've never had Beluga. Who likes Beluga vodka? Raise your hands. Is Beluga like ridiculously expensive?
No, really.
Why don't more of you like it? I don't understand you people.
$30. Shy.
The shot?
Shy.
Are we, so I know there's like a little coffee break, but are we gonna have Beluga vodka?
Yeah, sure. You can spill it in the coffee.
No, I mean like you should have like little shot glasses right back there for everybody. It'll make them a much better audience.
We'll think about it later.
One guy will like pass out. He'll be like, I don't drink. His head will hit the table. Long story short, I'm not the one doing the manipulating. I make jokes, that's what I do, okay? But what I've learned from, and this is a long explanation, forgive me, but what I've learned through philosophy and the stock market if you combine the two. And I suggest you all study philosophy in your spare time. You know, I know you might like clubbing or video games, but philosophy is a lot more useful. You know, it's really pretty amazing. And I want to give you one philosophy lesson. You didn't think I would give a philosophy lesson, did you?
Come on.
You were hoping?
You can talk, man.
You were hoping for it, though. Who wants the philosophy lesson? Raise your hand if you want the philosophy lesson. Nobody wants it. Now you're all getting it. The philosophy lesson is... No, it's relevant to trading. Trust me, okay? I'm going to mess it up, but there's a philosopher. His name is Plato. Few philosophy people in this room know. And he was an ancient philosopher. And there's this thing called the allegory of the cave, where somehow in this hypothetical philosophical world, you have these people chained to a cave wall. They can't move their heads. For some reason, there's like, you know, did you ever see the movie Saw? Does Saw come out here? All right, good. So there's like some Saw-like contraption where they can't move their heads, and they're just, you know, in this cave. And all they can see is straight ahead. And on the other side of the cave, you know, since there's some light, you can see some shadows flickering. But you can't move your heads, you can't like see, you know, what's creating the shadow. You can't see anything. So these hypothetical people, all they do is they see this cave wall and they see the shadows flickering and they think that's life. Somehow one guy gets free from his saw-like cave head brace. And he breaks out into the light and he's like, you know, he can't see because he's out of the cave and like the sunlight is blinding him. And he doesn't know what the fuck is going on. He's like, my eyes, right? But he gradually gets used to the light and he sees like, you know, trees and grass and he sees what life is really all about. And he realizes that when he was chained to the cave, that was not life. That's just what he thought was life. And he tries to go back and he tries to warn the others and they're all still stuck and he can't get them out. And he's like, listen, like you're just watching shadows, you dumbasses. Like, go outside. There's so much more to life. And they won't believe him. They think he's crazy and he's kind of like cast out. And the philosophy lesson is that, you know, this is what most people in life are going through, where you're chained to this cave wall. You can't see what is really going on here. And this does apply to trading, trust me, especially with penny stocks, because these penny stocks are being manipulated higher by these promoters. If you actually read the SEC filings, if you go through and dig into their revenues, into their profits, you know, things that actually matter for company valuation, they suck. But the emails that you're getting through Google or Yandex or mail.ru, they're lies. And that creates this massive predictability because you have these people that are like chained to the cave and they actually believe the emails that they're getting. They're not reading the SEC filings. So no matter what kind of brokerage account you have, no matter how much money is in it, no matter how much time you can devote to it, you have an advantage over those people in the cave still. Because they're seeing one thing and they're not doing the digging. And that's what my strategy comes down to, where I do the digging. And you can learn to do the digging yourself because, you know, I'm not even that great. Sometimes I mess up, I make weird jokes, I make weird analogies that don't even work. That's what I do. But if you dig through the corporate filings, you have a clear advantage that does not exist anywhere else in the stock market because the rest of the market is very competitive because there's a lot of money to be made. And I'll go over that in a second. So this is what I'm saying. My trading is based on the predictable consequences of other people's manipulation. And that's a mouthful. And I probably could have phrased it better, but I didn't. You know, when other people manipulate stock prices, I'm happy. And I know that's kind of a terrible thing to say, but I need the manipulation to make money. Because without the manipulation, then it's just a guessing game. The stock market, the commodities, Forex, the world, sports, gambling, Vegas, Macau. You guys go to Macau? No? Okay. I don't know. Wherever you're trying to guess the outcome and trying to profit from that, you're relying on odds. And if you ever go to casinos, do they have casinos in Russia?
It's forbidden.
Oh my God.
You are going to jail, Tim.
This is, I can already like feel the KGB like on me, like they're like watching me.
Smile.
I'm an American. Everything that's forbidden, you know, wherever you guess, you guys are traders. That's legal, right? Trading is legal. Is this like a trap? Am I getting punked? Is Ashton Kutcher gonna come out here and say, you've been punked? There's no trading in Russia.
We just pick the wild mushrooms, you know?
You pick the wild mushrooms. I am gonna try and pick the wild mushrooms in a few days, although I hear it's off season, so I have a feeling. All right, so good. That's an analogy that you guys will understand. Who here likes wild mushrooms? Raise your hands. It's supposed to be your national pastime. Raise your damn hands. What kind of information is out there? You're all supposed to love wild mushrooms. This is what I've been told. I'm going with it. I don't care. Okay, let's pretend everyone just raised your hands when I said who likes wild mushrooms. So, I can't even make that kind of analogy. That's just so fucked. The point is that I need other people manipulating these stocks. And that's when I come in, because then I can cut through their BS. BS? You understand BS? Bullshit? There's bullshit in Russia. Is there bullshit in Russia? Raise your hands if you know of bullshit in Russia. No one raised their hands. Shit. I hope swearing is not disallowed, because I swear a little bit. But what I'm saying is that you need manipulation. And I'm going to show you some examples of manipulation. And it's kind of a beautiful thing, because there's always going to be stock market manipulation. The authorities can try and shut it down, but there's always going to be somebody who's going to be too lazy, too devious, too drugged out, too drunk. You know, these kinds of character flaws, who likes, you know, different kinds of mushrooms than the national pastime. Somebody who wants a lot of money very quickly. And they're willing to do whatever it takes to get there. Those people you don't want to know, but it's kind of cool to be thankful for them. And that's what my strategy is, where it's not like, oh, I'm going to expose these frauds, I'm going to profit off of them. And that, you know, if there's an ethics like professor in here, he's shaking his head no, but I don't think there's any ethics professors. Everyone's just greedy, which is cool. So why penny stocks? They are easier. And I know this is a very long introduction, but you have to understand the framework that I'm coming from, where if you have this marketplace, have you ever been to a casino? Raise your hands if you've been to a casino. A few people have done the forbidden. You've tasted the forbidden fruit. Good. In a casino, the odds are not good, okay? Like, you guys are suckers for going. And I go to casinos too, because I like, you know, the drinks, and they have like fun shows and fun girls, and you know, it's fun. But I don't expect to win in any of the games because the odds suck. With penny stock, the odds do not suck. If you have any intelligence whatsoever, and you know, given the fact that you're here on a Saturday, it shows that you have intelligence, because most people don't want to learn. They don't want to strategize. It hurts their brains to think. This is why there's so few philosophy majors. My little allegory of the cave, it's a freaking awesome allegory. Does allegory translate?
Like allegoria.
Allegoria.
The same. Russian language.
Okay, cool. It hurts your head, and it hurt my head too. I'm not the smartest person. I don't know if you can tell in the first hour. I'm not like, you know, very intelligent. But what I am is always ready for an opportunity. And that's what penny stocks are. They're an opportunity if you have intelligence, if you research, if you realize that the vast majority of people trading the stocks that I trade simply buy these stocks because they think that it's like a lotto ticket. Do you have lotto? Lotto?
Lotto? Yeah, we have.
You have lotto! Yes! How many of you have bought a lotto ticket before? Raise your hands. It's the same people who raise their hands. You guys robots? The rest of you are not raising your hands. Everyone has probably bought a lotto ticket before. Come on! What does it get up to? What's like the biggest lotto jackpot here? Like,
I don't know, maybe 100 million rubles.
100 million rubles? Alright.
$3
Alright.
million.
How much?
$3 million.
It only gets up to 3 million? Alright, so in the US, when I was leaving, they have a giant billboard, you know, for the greedy Americans, and it says $171 million. So how many rubles is that, buddy?
Pretty fine.
That's like 1 billion rubles. How much? I'm not good at math. 5 billion? Do I hear 6 billion? 7 billion? There's like, whatever, I don't care what the number is, okay? The billions of rubles in one lotto, one jackpot. And the greedy Americans love it. They love it. They're the ones funding it. That's why our, you know, lotto is so much bigger than yours. I'm sorry. You guys aren't greedy enough. I'm trying to teach you. I guess that's what I'm teaching. I guess this is the CNN interview, part 2 right now. I'm just trying to teach pro-greed. Okay. All right. I'll take that on. I'm wearing all black. I'm the devil. Greed. That's fine. The point that I'm trying to make is that, like lotto, people are so greedy they don't think about the odds. If you buy a lotto ticket, your odds suck of winning. Has anybody here ever won the lotto? Nobody better raise their damn hands. Are you kidding me? You won the lotto?
10 rubles.
Shit. Most of the time, you're not going to win the lotto. The odds are terrible. Except for this guy. That's cool, man. Congrats. That's always fun when someone wins the lotto. It's exciting to win, but you have to understand the odds, okay? And with penny stocks, no one besides me, no one in the entire world has ever tried to teach penny stocks openly because they didn't think there was a market. The only way to make money in penny stocks so far has been to send out like 10 million emails. You know, when you get paid like $1 million to send out that many email blasts. That's the way to make big money in penny stocks. But what I found is that there's a way by betting against the odds. What if you can bet against the lotto? Think about that for a second. Where you know like the odds of winning the lotto are like 1 in 3 million. What if you can short sell that? What if you can bet against it? That means that out of 3 million times, you're going to win 2,999,999. You're going to take that bet because the odds are greatly in your favor. And the cool thing is that with my strategy, that's basically the odds. It's probably not that high, but it's like, there's like a 99% chance of me winning if I stick to the rules that I've refined over a decade. And this is the cool thing. I'm not even a great trader. Kind of like I'm not a great speaker. But I just go with it. I just do the best I can. And you don't need to be a rocket scientist. Does rocket scientists make money? Make sense? You have rocket scientists here? Do rocket scientists make money here?
No, not really.
You guys beat us to the moon. I mean...
Yeah, we have the best.
Should I... to space? Oh, we won the moon race. Thank you, one American in the room. Dad. So I've made a few $1 million, but I've left like tens of millions of dollars on the table, and that's why I teach. Have you ever heard of this saying? Raise your hands if you've heard this saying. Teachers are those who can't do. Yes! So I am a teacher who can't do. And I have no problem saying that because, remember, going back to the pictures of my ex-girlfriend, I have unlimited freedom, especially now that she's my ex. So, my dad gets that. Nobody else does. Simplicity. This is the beautiful thing about my strategy. It is so freaking simple. Companies have 1 or 2 products. It's like boom or bust. Every positive piece of news can have an impact on the stock for days or weeks. In the normal stock market and, other market niches, You have to be watching the news all the time. You're like, oh, this company just reported earnings. You have to make a split-second decision, should I buy this company based on the new earnings? Because you know there's 1,000 more people right behind you, in line, trying to analyze, should they buy that company or not, or should they short sell? Penny stocks, there's not a lot of competition. You don't have to be early, okay? Actually, being early is harmful, as you'll see in some of these charts. It's actually much better to be patient. And the reason is that there's just not that much competition. You know, I've made a few $1 million. I've been blogging my ass off for 4 years. I have 13 DVDs, 4 newsletters. I get roughly 30,000 viewers every single day between my websites. So I'm popular on the web. But when it comes time to do these kinds of seminars, you know, this is one of the biggest crowds I've ever had. Not many people want to learn about penny stocks because there's just not a lot of money to be made. You know, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. That doesn't exist in my niche. It's low-hanging fruit. Negative news takes time, okay? When a company has one product and it fails, you have to remember, going back to the people who have these emails in their inbox, they were sent 20, 30, 50 emails saying how great this product is. If a company's product fails, they're not going to announce it in an email. They're not going to be proud of it, okay? So let's pretend that there's a company that says that they're finding $100 billion worth of gold in South Africa, right? And you get email after email, and you don't understand how email promotion works, but you get all these emails that say, you know, this stock is going to surge because we found so much gold. And then all of a sudden, there's one SEC filing. Do you know what SEC filings are? All right, good. Is there an SEC in Russia? KGB?
KGB.
KGB. All right, maybe I can't make that joke. I don't know. But
You definitely go to jail then.
am I going to jail?
Yeah. After you end this seminar.
Is there Wi-Fi in jail? Is there internet? High speed?
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
I like it. It's very comfortable.
I like the Russian food. I don't know. I'll try it out. It'll be an experience, you know? I'm up for an adventure. If I can take new pictures, I'll be like, and this is when I made a stupid joke and I ended up in a Russian jail. You have to remember, going back to my hypothetical company that found $100 billion worth of gold, or a billion, it doesn't even matter what the number is. They'll use big numbers just to lure people in. Every single email will say the probability of finding this gold is very high. When in reality, if you go look at their SEC filings, they might have like $10,000 in cash. They'll say that they need $5 million just to even look for the gold. The emails are flat out lies. But the cool thing is sometimes these companies fail, and they fail only through their SEC filings. So negative news takes time, because you have an SEC filing that's like 45 pages. Only me and like my 13,000 Twitter followers are gonna know about it, because I'm gonna be like, look at the company, they suck, and I'll like promote it, or demote it actually. I'll talk about how the company failed in the legal filing. But the company, no company is ever required, at least in penny stocks, to talk about their failures. They have to talk about it in their legal filings. They're legally obligated, but they don't have to send out email blasts. They don't have to put out press releases. So what happens is you have this inefficiency where the dumb public, the people that vote for George Bush, I guess you guys don't get that joke either. Do you have any bad politicians that you all hate? Or we can't even talk about that?
Yeah.
Shoot. Pretend that there's like this terrible, terrible politician in Russia.
Boris Yeltsin.
Boris-
Remember?
Boris Yeltsin was bad?
He was drunk all the time.
That's bad?
I don't know. He's good.
I'm not going to go into Russian politics, but pretend that there's a terrible Russian politician. Okay? Maybe I should. My dad's shaking his head no. How far is too far? I don't know. We'll move on. All right. The key is that negative news takes a while. And there's an inefficiency where you see in the SEC filing the company admits defeat. But in the minds of the gullible people, there's no defeat. There's still people actually buying. And this is where the opportunity lies. So you can either, ignore the next 200 slides that I'm going to give. All you have to do is basically find the penny stocks that are up the most and dig through their SEC filings and watch them. When they have a new SEC filing and the stock is still high, you can short sell it. That's it. Presentation over. But there's a lot more to it if you want to get into the details. It's not always that simple. Research fully, you have plenty of time. This is the beautiful thing. So with these kinds of stocks, I research over and over and over again. I might track a stock for weeks or months and not make a trade just because I have it on my watch list. And I'm like, you know what? This is one stock that I'm watching because it is being pumped up, it's being manipulated higher, but the SEC filings say that this company stinks. So I have a watch list, and like you guys have like little notepads in front of you. I have little notepads at home, and every single night I add maybe 2 or 3 stock tickers to that watch list. And I have literally just, I tape them on the walls. I'm not that organized. And these are the stocks that I'm watching for potentially shorting. It's a very meticulous process. And if you can sum up this whole presentation where I am meticulous in my research. I want to know which companies are frauds, which companies have good odds of success. Some of these companies, not every company I run into is going to fail. Some of them actually are meant to break out. Small companies do succeed. Do you guys have True Religion jeans? True Religion?
Yeah.
You have True Religion? That used to be a penny stock scam. Can you imagine that? True Religion Jeans was based in Vancouver. Vancouver is the home of most penny stock pump and dumps. And you know what? Like, somebody sent out 10 million emails, just as I've been talking about, and the stock price spiked from I think 2 cents to $3. And they were saying, oh, look at these jeans, they're gonna be big. And the stock just kept going up. And you know what? The people like the freaking jeans. I have a pair of jeans. There's actually an office on Wall Street in New York for True Religion jeans. And I think they put that store there just to show, look, we made it. Because it started out as a scam. That is the only scam that I have ever known to have made it. Every other scam, no matter what they're promising, jeans, gold, oil, diamonds, biotech, cancer. There's one company, they said they were going to put stem cells into vitamins, except I exposed how the CEO had lost his medical license. None of the scams take off. True Religion Jeans is the one that takes off. So that's why I'm saying, like that one guy who won the lotto, it does happen. But the odds are not very good. You okay?
No, I'm fine, I'm fine. Just searching for the bathroom.
Am I wearing you out?
No, it's just the sun shining.
Okay. Do you want a water?
No, fine.
All right. We got to protect the translator. He's the most important person here. He could just do this presentation. It's all on the slides. Look, volatility. Who here understands what volatility means? Raise your hands if you know volatility. That's it. Good. I know this is very basic, but you have no idea how many people look at these penny stocks that are not volatile. They look at these stocks that are trading at 2 cents and they think lotto. They say, it's at 2 cents a share right now. What if it goes up to 4 cents? Screw Tim Sykes and his meticulous researching and his allegories and his irresponsible remarks to the amazing Russian government. They say, screw that. Let me just buy that 2 cent stock because I think it's going to go up to 4 cents because I'm going to play the lotto. And you have to resist that urge. And I have that urge too. Anybody who trades for a living has gambling instincts. You want to make quick money. You want to feel special. Trust me, I know that rush that you get when you make $1,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 in a day. You feel pretty damn special. Who here has made $10,000 in a day? Raise your hands. A couple people. Okay. Yeah, the guy in the back. Cool. Well, it feels good, okay? Who here has made $100 in a day? Raise your hand. I thought everybody, I'm confused here, because when I first started this presentation, I said, who's a profitable trader? Everybody raised their hands. Now, somehow, only half the audience is raising their hands when I ask who has made $100. You see, there's a contradiction here, okay? I don't know what it is, but it's there. And it's good, because it's kind of what I talk about, where, you know, you have this, everyone is so positive in emails, and yet the legal filings are different. So I think it's kind of similar to your initial hand raising compared to what your actual account statements say. And there's nothing wrong with not making a lot of money trading. You know, again, you really have to understand, most traders lose money. So don't be embarrassed, but just focus on getting better. This is the definition of volatility for a third grader. Stock prices make big moves. If I want to talk baby talk, I would say stock go up. Big, quick. Stock surges of 100% to 1,000% within a few days. It's a freaking amazing thing when a stock can go up 100% or 1,000% in a day. 10 times your money in one day. And if you're meticulous, you can actually capture it. I'm not saying capture it all, because if you find a stock that's up 500 or 1,000% in a day, there's probably not a lot of trading volume, but you can kind of try to capture some of it. If a stock is going up 1,000% on a day, there's obviously good news, okay? Or maybe there's an email blast, so people think that there's good news. Something is pushing that stock's stock price higher. Stocks don't just go up that much in one day or 1 week. So you have to try and see what is the catalyst. And we'll be talking a lot about catalysts tomorrow, because we'll be going into specific catalysts. Today I'm just kind of, painting broad strokes. The bad news, if you're an investor or if you're an optimistic person, and conversely, the good news, if you're cynical like me, stock prices can drop 50 to 90% in a day or a week if there's bad news, or if there's an SEC filing with terrible, terrible news in it and no one else knows about it. But do you understand the difference between an SEC filing that has really negative news and the mass public not knowing about it because they don't want to do the digging? They don't want to sit in a room for 4 hours and think about things like this. They want to just know hot stocks. They want to say, buy, buy, buy. Do you know Jim Cramer? Raise your hand if you know Jim Cramer, if you've seen Jim Cramer. So Jim Cramer is an American TV personality, and his number one, soundbite is buy, buy, buy. And he sounds like that, and it's annoying. And he has like a little button on CNBC, which is like the number one business channel in the US. He has this little button that he pushes, and he goes, buy, buy, buy. And then, like, if he doesn't like a stock, he goes, sell, sell, sell. And that's what most people want to do. They just want to, they're either in or they're out. They never, scale into positions or scale out of positions. They don't want to know about that stuff. There's an opportunity there, okay? Because if you can think with a clear head with every single piece of news with penny stocks, you have an advantage over the people who don't. That's the point that I'm trying to make here, where I hope that you follow my website so you can see how much I mess up. Even though I've been trading for so many years and I've seen the patterns, I'm not a great trader because I'm always trying to outthink myself, because I've seen too much. It's actually better for beginners because you're just like, let me follow the simple rules. And in my head, I know the simple rules, hence why I'm teaching, but I overthink the solution. And I don't want to make that mistake. So that's why, excuse me if this presentation is a little simplistic, but simplistic is good. Lack of competition. This is perhaps the most important point of this whole thing. Promoters and suckers, okay? This is what it comes down to. There's two groups of people in penny stocks. You have promoters, and I don't know if there are any promoters in this room. If there are, I congratulate you. I thank you for your unethical existence and your, just desire to screw people over. It's kind of sick. So it's kind of weird how like I need promoters to exist. And the few promoters in the room are smiling because they understand like that's what they do. I've talked with a few promoters before, and you know, a penny stock promoter who gets paid to pump up stock prices. They don't care about the company, they don't care about the people, they just want to pump up the stock price. That's what they're paid to do. And I've done a few YouTube spoofs on this. You like my Tom Cruise impression? Thank you. I'll play that tomorrow. I'll play some videos tomorrow. Then we'll give my translator a break for a few minutes. You good? Okay. I just don't want to go too fast. All right.
As long as it makes sense.
I can't promise I'll make sense. I'm sorry. Listen to some of these analogies. Come on. Promoters and suckers. This is the two main groups in this market. In the finance markets, in commodities, in Forex, in Russian stock market, US stock market, any stock market, there's tons and tons of players. Hedge funds, prop traders, individual investors, retirement accounts, mutual fund managers, analysts, brokers, market makers. There's so many different groups competing. Everyone is trying to predict what's going to happen. Analysts on Wall Street, for those of you who don't know, are only right 35% of the time, and yet they make, 6 figures. Well, what's 6 figures in rubles? Are you texting? You're texting while I'm presenting? Ouch. Ouch. I'm going to call you out on that.
Come on.
Okay, sorry. But brokers and analysts make a lot of money on Wall Street, and they're only right 35% of the time. In penny stocks, you don't have to worry about any of that. There are no brokers for penny stocks. There's not enough commissions. Remember, we're trading very small stocks, okay? All you need is an online discount broker like United. That's all you need. You don't need an actual guy who's working on Park Avenue who claims to have research. In fact, there is no penny stock research. That's the weirdest thing. There are no research reports or independent research reports on these penny stocks. The only research reports that exist out there are by promoters. They're compensated. They're paid to have reports on these companies because they need exposure. The companies pay them, or shareholders of the companies pay them. Those are the promoters. The suckers are the people who receive these email blasts. And they don't know any better. They don't know how the game works. They just see an email that says, buy this stock, it's going to go up 1,000%. And 1% of the people who get those emails actually believe it. There's only a few traders like me who consistently profit from this inequality. That's really what I'm doing. There's an inequality between good information and misinformation here. And there's a few of us who kind of live on the cusp, in between. And we say, you know what? Here's a situation of misinformation, here's good information. There's a divergence. This company is overvalued, it shouldn't be valued like that. This company, and I'll tell you, it's not all short sales, because there's one of the charts in this presentation, I'm actually long. I bought the stock yesterday, because I think that it's going to be promoted. I think that it's going to be manipulated higher, so I bought the stock. And that freaks a lot of people out because I'm like, quote, contributing to the scam. I don't think so. I think if you can predict when a stock is going to be promoted higher, you should take advantage of that. We trade both long and short sides. And that's the thing. I made my first $1 million buying stocks back when I was in high school and a freshman in college. Back during 1999 and 2000 when I didn't know about short selling. I didn't know about any of this. All I would do was look at charts and I would say, you know what, this penny stock is breaking out. I had no idea of the game being played on the back end between the promoters and the suckers. All I saw was a technical breakout. Who here knows what a technical breakout is? Raise your hand. Technical breakout in the chart is basically just where, if a stock is trading under $5 a share for, 5 years, and it can never get above $5. It's like a glass ceiling. At $5, one day it breaks out to 501, 502, 505. That's a technical breakout. It shows up on traders' screens. Pops up. All these different traders all over the world have little flashing signals that says, this stock has a 5-year breakout. That's a meaningful, catalyst, because it means that something is happening. Maybe the company is doing better than other people think. That's why it just broke out to a new all-time high. That's what I do when I buy stocks. The stock that I bought on Friday was breaking out to a new all-time high. The stock that I'm invested in, I bought 20,000 shares at $1.57. So roughly $35,000 I invested. And I can tell you 100% without a doubt, it is a scam. So I am $35,000 invested in a scam right now. And a lot of people are like, why would you do that? Because I think that this scam is going to be manipulated higher. So I want to ride the wave. It's no different than surfing. I'm Jewish, I have no athletic skills whatsoever, so I cannot surf. But if I could surf, I envision this is what it would be like, where you're trying to predict where a wave is, okay? And the wave, I think, on this stock is coming up because all of the signs point to it being manipulated very soon. No stock ever gets manipulated lower. Penny stocks only get manipulated higher because the people doing the manipulating want to sell the stuff. But I also excel at short selling. As you can kind of tell from my not so optimistic presentation, I love betting against these scams. I love exposing them. I got a cease and desist order the other day. Do you know cease and desist? Do you have cease and desist letters here?
Well, what is it? Explain.
Okay, so a cease and desist letter in America is where, how do I explain this? I wrote a blog post talking about this company, kind of exposing why I think the company is shit, because they have no cash, their revenues are down 60%, but they got Justin Bieber. Do you know Justin Bieber? Is Justin Bieber popular in Russia? Oh, why are some people really nodding? That's scary. Justin Bieber signed a deal with his penny stock to promote this software that on your cell phone while you're driving, it doesn't allow you to text or check your messages or do anything. It senses how fast your car is going, and so you can't do anything. And it's good because there's a lot of people who get in car accidents because they're text messaging and they're talking on their phone while they're driving. They shouldn't do that. So this company signed a deal with Bieber. Bieber is like, I'm not going to start singing, but he's basically saying, you shouldn't be text messaging while you're driving. Sounds like a good thing, right? Unfortunately, if you read the 124-page SEC filing that I did and ignore the email blast, there's an email blast that said, Justin Bieber is partnering with a stock trading at 2 cents a share. This thing is going to go to $1. And I started researching it because I don't want to bet against a stock at 2 cents a share. Like, what is it going to drop down to 1 cent? Come on. I'm not trying to bet against stocks trading that low. I like when stocks are very high. So I actually was looking at this stock to buy it. I actually did buy it. But the more research I did, I found out that this company doesn't even own the technology. They only license it. They have about 24 competitors. The president is a felon. He's a convicted felon, a car thief, ironically. And the company didn't even know, and they didn't even disclose this. So I wrote this long blog post talking about this. And I enjoy exposing these kinds of, criminals. And they sent me this legal letter saying, you must take down your blog post. This is the third such legal letter I've received in the past 2 years. And what I do is, through my lawyer, we respond publicly. This is the fourth. The other 3 cease and desist letters went away. I took on Shaquille O'Neal. Do you know Shaq? You know Shaq. So Shaquille O'Neal partnered with a penny stock. And, Shaquille O'Neal is probably like the biggest, blackest player in the history of the NBA. And he's worth, a lot of millions of dollars. And I'm not big and black, although I do have a few million. But I'm still scared to take on Shaq. That was my first case. But he partnered with a penny stock very similar to Justin Bieber. and I wrote a long blog post of why Shaquille O'Neal was pumping this piece of crap penny stock. And so with Justin Bieber, I wrote the exact same kind of post. You can almost just swap out celebrity names. Shaquille O'Neal only got 3 million shares. They get compensated. If you're a celebrity, you get compensated to lend your name to a company. Like Tiger Woods and Nike, before Tiger's, stupidity. But at least Nike has real products. And so he makes a few $1 million. It's good for him. It's good for the brand. For whatever reason, Shaq promoted this little, just terrible company, and he got 3 million shares at roughly $3. So $9 million deal for him. And I started writing about it, saying this company is worthless. And he sent me a cease and desist letter. I was scared, but I responded, and he backed down. The stock dropped 99%. The product was a failure. This is the same thing happening with Justin Bieber. So I got a cease and desist letter the other day, and now I'm going to be fighting, instead of the biggest, blackest guy, the little skinny white kid with, I picture like these 13-year-old girls who are going to claw me with their nails because they're not happy with what I'm doing to their love, Justin Bieber. But I have to do it. I have to expose these kinds of stocks. And that's what I did. It's just more logical. That's what it comes down to. If you have this celebrity, Justin Bieber, Shaquille O'Neal, who's a Russian celebrity? What? Kirkorov? Philip Kirkorov?
Yeah, American.
Why are you laughing? Who's Philip Kirkorov? What is this, like the #1 KGB officer? I'm not even going to make any more jokes. I don't know any Russian celebrities. I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry. What? I can't pronounce that.
Alex Ovechkin.
I still can't pronounce
You
it.
don't watch hockey?
Anna Kournikova. There's one.
Sharapova.
Sharapova. Okay, so tennis players. So you got the tennis players. I'm sorry, I really should know more Russian celebrities. But imagine if Anna Kournikova got, compensated to, promote a new line of panties, right? And the Kournikova panties have like a big K on them or something. And then Sharapova comes in with her S panties. And then there's this panty company, and the stock ticker is like PANTY, right? And the stock is trading at 2 cents a share, and you have 10 million emails going out. Sharapova and Kournikova panties. Who's not going to want them? Even guys will want them. Guys have been wanting to get into Kournikova's pennies forever. Now they can. I can just picture this email. Thank you. This actually works. Screw Shaq and Bieber. They're boring. That is what I'm talking about, okay? And you would laugh, and it would go viral, okay? That would be a good... I'm actually, if there are stock promoters in the room, I know, Kournikova and Sharapova, they're not doing so well in tennis anymore. They need that money. You should get those panties, okay? This is how these deals can come about. And just watch. This would be awesome. We're recording this. May 27, 2011. If by 2013 there are Sharapova and Kournikova panties, I just want 3%. This is my idea, okay? But someone could put that deal together. Okay? Somebody with boring panties, with no S's or no K's on them, they can be like, screw it, I hate selling panties. Let me just get these celebrities, give them a few million shares, and pump up the damn stock. That's it. And I would be writing a blog post exposing it while also mentioning that it was my idea in the first place. This is the problem though. Unless you're putting that penny deal together, the big money is not in penny stocks. If you put that penny deal together, if you create a panty stock at 1 cent and it goes up to $1 because these two girls are promoting it, and you sell out, 2 million shares at $1 or, 5 million shares, that's big money, making a few $1 million. But it's also questionable, it's not exactly legal. I don't encourage that. But if it does happen, I will short sell it. And that's what it comes down to. There's no liquidity for billionaires. You know, if you need a few $1 million, you can put one of these deals together, as these celebrities prove. But if you want to trade it, there's just not enough liquidity. Who understands liquidity? Raise your hands. Liquidity is, for those of you who don't know, how many shares a stock trades per day. If a stock only trades like 1,000 shares in a day, it's not liquid. You know, you can't go in and out. I know a lot of you guys are scalpers. God bless you. You're going to have a heart attack by the age 40. You know heart attacks, right? Heart attacks in Russia? All right.
It's very popular.
It's very popular.
After going on the wild mushroom.
Wild mushrooms and heart attacks, they go together. My name is Tim Sykes, and I teach people to trade stocks. I am a self-made multimillionaire. So this is the ideal trade that I'm going to talk about. I want you guys to understand every single aspect of this trade